Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to your favorite program, To The Point, right here on KTV2. Tonight, we are going to focus on one of the main issues in the world, not to mention the state of Kuwait. It's all about obesity. Overweight and obesity have contributed greatly to the problem of non-communicable diseases in the Middle East. However, recent surveys have shown that women are affected by obesity more than men in the region. Because of overweight and obesity, more than 2/3 of adults are considered to be overweight or obese. Youth are also impacted by obesity epidemic. The region has one of the youngest population worldwide, and increasingly sedentary lifestyles and changes in diet have rates of obesity among children and adolescents, and also more than 1/3% of exactly the same thing we're talking about of adults are considered to be obese. More than about 1 to 20, about 6% have extreme obesity. This high prevalence of obesity have paralleled the rise of diabetes and hypertension. The Middle East and North Africa region is reported to have the highest prevalence of diabetes in adults in the world, and about 10% poor eating. It's all about poor eating, habits, and physical inactivity within a population are known to be the major contributors to the obesity itself. 3 in the Arab world, changes in diets are characterized by increased caloric intake and substitution of the traditional diet with refined and processed food and diet rich in fat. We have a lot more to cover about this thing, but now we have a report to tell you exactly what we mean about obesity. Stay tuned.
Obesity. Obesity is a condition that is associated with having an excess of body fat. Obesity is classified as having a body mass index of 30 or greater. 3 decades ago, the obesity rate for adults was 15%. Today, the rate has more than doubled to 35%. At the same time, calories consumed by adults have gone from 1,996 to 2,234 a day. Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. These are some of the leading causes of preventable death. The estimated annual healthcare costs of obesity-related illness are $190.2 billion, or nearly 21% of annual medical spending in the United States. Obesity-related job absenteeism costs $4.3 billion annually, and obese people spend 42% more on healthcare costs than healthy weight people. There's no significant relationship between obesity and education among men. Among women, however, there is a trend. Those with college degrees are less likely to be obese compared with less educated women. Higher income women are less likely to be obese than low income women. The United States is the 8th fattest country in the world, with 31.8% of the population being overweight. The top 3 fattest countries are Egypt with 33.6%, Saudi Arabia with 35.2%, and Kuwait with 42.8%. The fattest states in the United States are Delaware with 34.3% of its population being obese, West Virginia with 34.4%, and Mississippi with 35.4%. While obesity is a major health and economic issue, recent studies have shown that childhood obesity among 2 to 5-year-olds has gone down from 14% in 2004 to 8.4% in 2012.
Welcome back. We have a very distinguished guest right here in our studio, right here in KTV2. His name is Dr. Abdullah Isa Sultan. He's a senior specialist in Farwaniya Hospital Department of Surgery, and he has a long title. So I'm going to leave it up to you to explain the audience and our viewers what exactly your specialties.
My specialties is more in bariatric and also in minimum invasive surgeries.
Could you speak up, because your voice is wonderful to me and everybody else need to hear it.
Sure. And so I have a bachelor degree from Cairo University.
Cairo University.
And this is in medicine and in surgery. And then from KIMS, which is the Kuwait Institute of Medical Specialization, we did the Kuwait Surgical Board. And then I did a fellowship in a private institute from Brazil.
Brazil?
Yes.
Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah. No, in Curitiba.
Ah, close by.
Close by.
Anyway, now in the state of Kuwait, lots of women and men, doesn't matter about the gender, they go and seek like an attention from a doctor to lose some weight and probably have some kind of surgery to look better and also to remove all the fat. We would like from you, doctor, to tell us about the statistics of the surgeries towards patients and which also eliminate obesity in the state of Kuwait.
No. Now the obesity problem in the state of Kuwait has, I think, it has a long route, really. It's related to a lot of habits and to the diet we're having, and also to part of our cultures, really. And also a lot of people have lack of activities. They don't do exercise, they go to work and then directly back to home. So we have, it's contributed to a lot of factors, so type of food and lack of activities and our social habits. Really, we have a problem.
We have to change it. You see, you do not want to neglect the weather in the state of Kuwait. It does not allow you to have more activities outside. I know you can go to the gymnastics, I know you can go to the malls, but people cannot go there because they kind of have a busy schedule. Therefore, they prefer to do it outdoors. Not to mention, if you want to do it outdoor, you have to sacrifice your body to the heat, humidity, and dust.
Yeah, indeed. I agree with that. But who want really to change his life, to lose his weight, he should really make his mind, make up his mind. Whether he will really decide to go to the gym, change his life activities.
That's good.
Or no.
Okay, could you tell us what kind of the types of bariatric procedures? This is some kind of operation, you do it inside the stomach or outside the stomach?
Yeah, so bariatric procedures is simply divided into, let's say, two categories. One of them, which is the most common, what we are doing, is we do a surgical procedure or through the abdomen. So we use the laparoscope, which is the camera, and some small incisions, instruments, through small incisions, and we do those type of procedures like the gastric bypass or the sleeve gastrectomies and so on. The other type is so different. It's done through the mouth using the scope. Like a camera, endoscope they call it, endoscope, and then it goes inside the stomach, and then another different type of procedure to be done, like the balloon, for instance.
The balloon? Yeah. Put it inside the stomach and you feel full all the time. You don't need to put more food inside of it.
Yeah, the balloon has different type of actions. It causes...
How long it lasts? Forever?
No, there's different type of balloons actually. Some of them stay for 3-4 months. The rest stay 6 or 1 year. You have to go back to the doctor and remove it, put a new one? Yeah, there is most of them you need to remove, but there is a new one now in the market which can really dissolve by itself. The cover is biodegradable.
What would happen if it explodes inside the body?
This is a real...
That would be a poisonous thing.
Actually, inside the balloon we don't put poisonous materials. It's,
nothing.
Yeah, it's water or some color water.
What about metabolic surgery? What is it?
Yeah, so now obesities, or what we call the bariatrics procedures.
Bariatric?
Yeah, bariatrics is those type of procedure I just explained, and concerning the obesity. Now, the same time of the procedures, if it was done to tackle different type of problems like diabetes. And so recently they come up with the term of metabolic surgeries. And I think...
What's it about?
So it's really about controlling problems came from overweight or from obesity. So like let's say that...
Any connections with the blood or probably the
no.
extreme fat in the body?
Yeah, of course there is, but what we saw that obese patients with diabetes, when you do a surgeries for them, what we call bariatric surgeries, anytime, let's say sleeve or a bypass, one of their end results, the diabetes that they have are controlled or even vanished really. And so they thought about, what about if we do those type of surgeries to patients without a higher class of obesity. So patients with a BMI, which is body mass index, of 33 or 32, and so this is the class 1 obesity, okay? And they have diabetes, which is really uncontrolled. I mean uncontrolled, that they have a high dose of insulin repeatedly, different type of drugs, and still it's uncontrolled.
We have on the air right now, we have some kind of graphic statistics all about the diabetes in the world and United States. You can tell that we are kind of at the top of the list, not worldwide, in the Arab world.
Yes, we are actually, but this type of schedules actually was published in the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgeries, and it shows a statistic of different type of procedures, and if you see their numbers, how they are different between 2011 and 2015. So the upper hand was for the bypass surgery, which is one of the major type of surgeries that we do. But with time, really, the sleeve came up and become the number one surgery.
The trend
goes to the sleeve right now. Because the sleeve have proven itself really recently with lots of publications, lots of literatures, that it's really tackles the weight loss. And,
okay, this is a different graphic we have here. What's it about, this one here?
This is actually what we were discussing, a classification which is type of this bariatric procedure.
Bariatric.
And it says that there is
digestive surgery,
maldigestive procedures. Restrictive is just like the sleeve gastrectomy, mean that we make the stomach is small in size, smaller. What else? Like the bypass, it's restrictive and malabsorptive. It's the bypass. We have a small stomach and we have different alineations of the bowel.
Just like a path.
Yeah,
we change the body. You change it.
We change the path.
Goes all the way outside the body.
No, not outside.
Not outside the body. Where?
No, it's the route, and for how the foods are absorbed, it should be changed. This is the aim of those type of procedure, which is the malabsorptive procedure.
Every once in a while, something goes wrong and the patient dies. Why?
You mean something related to those bariatric procedures?
To the procedure itself, to the surgery. Like I believe that every 1 month or 2 months, like let's say about 50 people, they perform the surgery. Let's say about 10 of them die. Is it because of malfeasance from the doctor himself?
No, bariatric procedures is done on people considered relatively high risk, because those people, as they have more weight, they are considered high risk.
High risk of dying.
High risk for things, like they have a DVT, deep venous thrombosis, you know, on their legs, or or they might die, or they might bleed. So it's a procedures by its own. It has its own complications, but the rate of the complications, as the development was done and the equipment that we are using, and with the experience that we have recently, have changed dramatically, and even the number of the deaths dramatically have decreased. What we hear is something contributed to other factors also. Maybe the length of the procedures, maybe the type of the anesthesia, maybe the patient comorbidity itself, patient general conditions prior to the surgery itself. So there is a lot of really factors can lead to this sad stories.
He made a mistake. It's not.
No, this is really very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Never happened to you or nobody else?
Thanks God.
No. That's wonderful. Okay, tell us more about the field of pediatric. Exactly. the field, what goes with it and what goes without it, and what exactly we need to do and we not to avoid doing it?
Yeah, I think you are referring to the indications or the protocol for how we choose the patients. There is an international protocol, and there is, of course, in the state of Kuwait, there is a protocol based on the standardized international protocols. Patients with obesity, let's say first that obesity is classified into class 1, class 2, class 3, based on the body mass index. So class 1 is between 30 to 35, class 2 35 to 40, above 40 is class 3. And so patients with BMI of above, or body mass index above 40, without any problems, without any comorbidities.
Say 40 what? Above 40 what?
Body mass index.
Ah, body mass index.
Yeah, as a calculations.
Okay.
And so those type of patients can selected for any type of the bariatric procedures. And patients who have comorbidity, mean they have diabetes, hypertension, or any type of problems related to their obesities, or as a secondary to their obesities, they also can enter those type of procedures and can be selected, but they have to be above 35 in their BMI. And the metabolic procedures that we explained before fill in the class 1 procedures, especially when it's uncontrolled diabetes.
Okay. Now,
so this is how you select really your patients.
Okay. How do you prepare the patient before the operation itself?
Yeah. Well, patients really, as any type of procedures, they go into a lots of preparations. First, they come and visit the surgeon in his OPD. They are thoroughly investigated from their bloods, urine, looking for different type of hormone, any causes of other causes of obesity rather than food itself. They go into nutrition, they go into endocrine check, they go into respiratory check, anesthesia check. So they are really prepared, and we discussed with them a lot the type of procedure, how we selected to them with them, and we discussed the outcome of the procedures and what they should do, what type of program of diet they should have, and the physical activity. Plus that they will sign a consent in the presence, most of the time of a member of families as well. So we put them really in pressure prior to the surgery and also after the surgery. This is why, because this is a life change, and we want them really to help them. We want to help them to really make this life change, you know.
How about the dietitian people in the state of Kuwait and in the rest of the world? Are they helping or not?
Yes, they have a major role, Lily.
They're helping the matter.
Yes, like me, I really cannot work, or even us, any surgeons in Kuwait or outside Kuwait. His outcome really after the procedure, after the surgery, really will not be perfect without a help of dietitian. That's 100%. And the dietitian role, pre-operative, is very important, but post-operative really is more important.
Now we have come to the end of this wonderful interview. I need from you to to make it easier to the audience and also to our viewers that this operation, the surgery itself, it's not that big of dangerous thing in the world. It could go either way, but mostly it goes to the right and the positive path. Is it correct?
Of course. It's the thing, the procedure itself, because we are using a new equipment, and we have more experience now than 20 years ago. And so the procedure itself become more safer. But really, it's a different of factors that contribute to the success of the surgery. Most important is really the factor of the patient himself, the patient factor, the compliance of the patients to the plan, to everything, to the diet, to the physical activities, prior to the surgeries and post the surgeries. This all really can contribute to his successful story. that he really had a good outcome from the bariatric itself, or it did not really help him, because there is a lots of patients in our area. They will come back to you, really. I mean, maybe they can reach 30% sometimes after 3 or 4 years.
That's too bad. But honestly, thank you.
So this is all related to the compliance of the patient, really.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
I'd like to thank Dr. Abdullah Isa Sultan, Senior Specialist at Farwaniya Hospital, Department of Surgery. You're still with us right here to the point. We have a very wonderful report. It was prepared by my colleague Farah, and it's all about how to choose your groceries in a healthy way and stay away from the, the artificial stuff, and how to live a prosperous and also healthy with Dr. YOUNIS SALMEEN. Enjoy.